A stirring new art installation at the Holocaust Memorial Center in Farmington Hills shines light not on the Holocaust, but on what's considered by many as the earliest genocide of the 20th century, the Armenian genocide of 1915 to 1919. And joining us now to talk about this is the artist himself, Robert Barsamian. You go by Barsamian.
Yes, ma'am.
That's right. Well, thank you for being with us this morning.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure.
So tell us about this exhibit. You've been putting together these pieces of art for the last 20 years. What prompted you to do it?
What prompted me to do it was a pretty sad situation. I was shot in a robbery and was an innocent victim, and during my recovery I was able to recall some of the stories my grandmother had told me concerning her escape from the Armenian genocide. And at that time I decided that I was going to leave my somewhat lucrative business as being a painter and doing something that had more value to it and more message and meaning. So
once you connected with the feeling of victimization, that just kind of stirred
it
that
was
in
a
you.
catapult, and it just pushed me right into it. And then over the years, it's developed in different ways, and that's what you'll see at the exhibition, the many different methods in which I've approached the subject matter.
Now, we have some video of the actual exhibit right now at the Holocaust Memorial Center. And again, you say these are all inspired by stories you heard from your grandmother and your mother.
Right, exactly.
And tell us about some of what we're seeing.
Well, what you're seeing right now is a piece that it has to do, is called Ashfall, and it has to do with the death of women. And I really don't know how appropriate it is to talk about some of this stuff.
Right, I know some of it's tough, obviously.
And it's really tough, but the women were gathered in the village and then they were murdered by being burnt to death.
Oh my goodness. And again, these are shots of the entire exhibit.
What you're seeing now is many different things. This particular man, Enver, was one of the ministers of war who could have possibly stopped the events, but chose to continue and create the event of the genocide, along with Talat and Jamel.
Now, there's a quote there from Hitler at the top of that particular piece. Why did you put that there?
Because I thought this was a great way to bring in a literal element, which was given to Hitler's quote of, after all, who remembers the extermination of the Armenians, which showed the complicity between the Turks and the Armenians at the same, the complicity between the Turks and the Germans, because they were allies in First World War.
Now, we should note that the death toll ranges from 300,000 to 1.5 million people. The accused aggressor in all of this, Turkey, refuses to recognize the term genocide. Discussing it there is actually against the law, and if you're convicted, you could get up to 10 years in prison. But 21 countries have recognized the term genocide in relation to this World War era act. And the U.S. did come close last year to recognizing the Armenian genocide formally, but it fell short. And, diplomatically, this is quite a hot-button issue because there are bases, and if Turkey feels that we're no longer a strong ally or we are recognizing this event, they might block U.S. access to these bases during wartime. So it's a touchy topic.
Yes, and it has been, and several presidents have promised to do something about it, including the president. But every time an issue comes up where the bases are needed, the topic is dropped.
Well, you can view Barsamian's exhibit at the Holocaust Memorial Center from now through July 10th. It's called 20 Years Searching for the Answer. And again, it's displayed there at the Holocaust Memorial Center on Orchard Lake Road in Farmington Hills. And if you'd like more information, you can go to our website, WXYZ.com. Barsamian, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you so much for having me here.
We appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Vic?